marvelous morning, awesome afternoon, and excellent evening. This is Carla from Rehan Allahwala's World of Connections. And today I have a real honor to speak to Basham Zen from Pakistan, who we actually just met, and I very rarely do interviews this quickly, but he's a fascinating character. He says he's from Indus Valley in Pakistan, and he's going to explain that to us in a moment. But it should be a very fascinating and wonderful interview. Having said that, I want to remind you that this show, like all of my shows, is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace, one conversation at a time. Basham, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Can you please introduce yourself?
You have already done it, like I'm Basham Zen and I'm from Pakistan. And what we know, like in Pakistan, it's actually the part of the greatest Indus Valley, So it's right in the heart of the Indus Basin. So a part of it is in India and a part of it in Afghanistan, So this is how I love to introduce, is I'm from Indus, I'm son of Indus. So this is how I want myself to be introduced. That's it.
Okay, can you explain I know what you just said, but can you make it a little clearer why you wanted one to be identified as the Indus Valley instead of your city name? I'm just curious.
Carla, I am a student of history, and I know that the states, the countries, their names change after every 50 years, like not more than 100. So the name Pakistan is a new name, So if you go like in 1947, it was India, of course. The way where I am right now, this was a part of India. So right now it's in Pakistan. But we don't know what will be after 20 years or 50 years, But one thing that will remain is the Indus River, It will remain here.
Okay. So, what do you do? What do you do for a living? I got the feeling that you are an amazing spiritual teacher. Did I lose? Are you here or are you having some internet problem? Can you hear me, Basham?
I'm sorry, maybe it's because of my connection. I'm back.
Okay.
So can you hear me?
Yeah.
So we are live? Mm-hmm.
I wanted to hear a little more about what you do for a living.
I'm a freelancer. I'm a graphic designer and visual artist. And I work with Photoshop, I'm working on it from 20 years. So I'm one of the experts of Photoshop in Pakistan.
Oh, really?
So I teach, so I teach people of Pakistan. I want to create 1 million designers, that's my dream. I want to do it, like many dreams. So I'm a master trainer of Photoshop and I'm a freelancer.
And how did you get involved? How did you get involved with freelancing?
I did not quite understand your question. Can you please?
What got you interested in photography? Was it something you did since you were a child?
Yeah. Yes, when I was a child, when I was in my first year of school, I was just drawing in my notebook, and that carry on. I became a painter, then I became a photographer, and then from photography, I just moved on to post production, and that's possible with Photoshop. So that's how I got in this business, like my interest for visual arts. This was a gift from God, I can say.
Okay, your name is Zen.
Yeah.
How did you get? Was that the name you were born with, or were you? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I was born with this name. Basham is a Balochi name because I'm actually a Baloch from Balochistan. So it's a very, very like essential Balochi name, Basham. And Zen is, you can say it's my surname, and it's also a sect of Japanese Buddhist. So I believe in Buddha. I take him as my teacher. So I love to be called Basham Zen. So it's a coincidence that my surname is Zen, and there is a sect of Buddhism that is called Zen Buddhism. So I'm both of them. Yeah.
Is it really a coincidence, or do you
Yeah,
think
it's
it's something that was
it,
designed
no, no,
beyond
no.
our knowledge?
Mm. It was a total coincidence. It was a total coincidence, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed with it.
When you look at what happens in the world, do you feel that you are guided, that the world kind of guides you, or that you guide the world?
I believe that there is something supernatural that guides us, like that plans everything, the events in our life, whatever happens with us, something is just guiding us, So, and maybe whoever he is, is guiding us to guide the world, you know. So this is how I see the things.
When did you start feeling that way or believing that way?
From 10 years, from year 2012, I felt I just all my beliefs and concepts, they all start breaking. That year, I remember that year, my shell broken that year, and these 10 years was a long journey. I
What do you mean your shell broke that year? Can you hear me?
in consciousness, in understanding. Before that, I was believing.
Your internet seems to be a little confusing. Can you hear me easily, or are you sort of breaking up?
Can you please?
I hope he'll be back. His internet may be too weak to do this today, and we will need to do this at another time. Let me find out. Um, Basham, your internet seems to be very unstable. Is there a better time to do this?
Now it's fine. I hope now it's fine. I was using a state-owned. I am using a state-owned internet. So now I just told everyone to close their devices. So I hope now it will work better. I hope so.
Okay, and if there's a problem again, we'll just reschedule for a time that'll be better for everyone, for you. So what brought you to the Zen Buddhist thinking or way of life? I know I have a story of how I got to where I am. What is your story? Were you interested in meditation as a young child? Jane, Basham, can you hear me? Okay, we're going to need to do this another time. Basham, can you hear me? Basham, take those out. Do it without your earbuds, and let's see if it works better. Take them out.
Actually, I'm with the system like this. It will not work without these. So I'm hearing well.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yeah. I hear you well. Now you hear me good?
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Part of the problem.
No,
do you hear me? Do you hear me better now than you did earlier?
No, best, not good. Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you a thing about Zoom. Sometimes it works better not to use your earbuds. And I didn't realize you were using them before. So let's see what happens. If we have another problem, we will just do this another time.
Yeah, fine.
What was it that brought you to meditation? Did it start as a child? Did it start as an adult? Can you tell me about that?
That started after I graduated, After I graduated, I graduated from Romania. I did master in business administration from there. And when I came back to Pakistan, I felt a very big shock, like everything was so changed, like I felt there's something, no, everything is wrong. So that was the time when I started camping on Indus River. I was spending nights there in the full moon, And that time I did not realize that what I was doing was a kind of meditation. I was watching the flow of river, the waves and the moon, and I I did not knew that. And after some time, I realized that's meditation. So it was like a power guided me to go there and sit there and spend night there. So that's how all it started.
How old were you then?
I was 24 years old.
And what made you go to Romania?
I wanted to go abroad all my childhood because my uncles, they live in Russia, so I was watching their pictures in all my childhood. So I wanted to go out of this place. So that was a chance I got because I was allowed to go there after my bachelor. So I did it here and I wanted to go to Russia, but somehow I could not go there. So I gone to Romania. So it happened like this.
And how long were you in Romania?
I was there for 2 years.
And I know that you have on your profile that you are a world traveler. Where else have you traveled?
I traveled Thailand, I traveled UAE, I traveled to Russia so far. Yeah, these countries. To Thailand, I told you, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What made you interested in traveling?
Just something, like all human beings, we are genetically programmed to travel. So when you just find yourself, your true self, you realize that you are a traveler. You mean to travel. You are meant to learn from all the human beings all around the globe, the cultures, the civilizations, the history, the geography. We need to know it. We are the record keepers of divine. So we need to keep the records. We need to visit all the globe. This is how I feel.
So I know you've been in Thailand. Have you, and you've been in Romania. Have you traveled to Europe yet, or?
Romania and Russia, they are Eastern Europe, Carla. So I did not mean to in Schengen Europe or Western Europe. I did not go there. I could not go there. But I want to go.
So maybe sometime in your lifetime you will go.
I hope.
What was one of your favorite things that you learned when you were traveling?
The culture, the humans, the human psychologies, and I feel that same. Wherever I go, I've I meet people who think like me, who feel like me, exactly like me. That's just amazed me.
When you say you met people who feel like you, can you give me an example?
Like like we all have a kind of perceived reality, like the way you are thinking about something, and you believe that it's you because you belong from a certain culture. That's why you are perceiving that thing in that way. And so it was in my mind, like when I will be in Russia, I will find the people so different. They will not feel what I feel. They will not uh, there will be something different. I will not understand their language, and so we are so different, but it's like it's the only language that differs. We have same engineering inside us. Maybe after some years I will be able to explain it. Maybe after some years, I'm working on it. But right now I can just say this thing, that I feel like the story of the Tower of Babylon is true. Like we all humans, we had the same language and same things, and then something happened and we all were just divided in many languages and many cultures. So maybe that's true. Maybe.
What makes you say that there's an underlying thing that draws us together, like a thread that holds all the diversity together and brings universality?
I can say, I don't know what is the right word in English. You can say peace and love, the compassion. So I don't know. So these are the closest words for that thing. So when we are in that state of mind, in that state of consciousness, everything will be removed, that is dividing us, and we'll become one human race, maybe something bigger than human, a kind of superhuman, and they will understand each other and everything. I hope you understand
Do
what I want
you?
to say.
I think I do. And
Thank
that's
you.
why
Thank you,
I'm
Carla.
asking the questions I do. Do you think love is something that underlies all of creation and all of what we do?
All the creation, yes, but all that we do, maybe not. Right now, we are not in state of love, you know. Right now, we are in all the human beings, we are in state of ego and the greed that is controlling, that is, we are on an autopilot, you know, and the pilot is that greed and ego, you know. Right now, I feel this like this, you know, and we all need to just throw it back, that pilot, you know, of ego and greed. We have to work on it, you know, individually and teach people how to do it.
I agree that there's ego and greed throughout the world. But how to ask this? Do you think that love also underlies all this ego and greed? People people do bad things in order to show love to someone they care about? For example, does someone rob a bank to get the money that they need to pay for food for their family because they don't see another way out?
That is the current economic and political system, Carla, you know, that makes someone to rob a bank, you
Right.
know. So we cannot say it's love, you know, love for family. No, it's not. I don't think it's that way. I hope I am getting you the right, you know.
Yeah, you're getting me.
Yeah. So that's not love really. That's just what we say. Like he have to do it because something is fundamentally wrong in this civilization that we are following. You know, like there's there must be a limit to profits and a limit of how much one should have in his possession, you know. The resources must be divided, you know. So if that will happen, there will be no one robbing or stealing, you know. So we must have a limit. I don't say that all the money in the world should be divided equally. No, there are some wise people, there are some fool people, there are some hardworking people, there are some clever people, you know, there are some people who don't want to work. So there should be, but the difference should not be that big, you know, Carla. Like, you know, and it's possible right now because technology and the scientific advancements, they take us to a point that right now, even we have so much people in this world, a lot of people that are not required, but still we can feed them all, you know, and still we can give them all a home, a shelter, you know, to feed their kids. It's possible today, but it's not happening. I
You-
hope, yeah.
You're doing beautifully. Why do you think it cannot happen?
I believe it will happen. You know, I don't know in my lifetime it will happen. I don't know because there is a cosmic balance. You know, like everything you see in universe, it's balancing itself. You know, so right now you see the difference. You know, the economic instability, the uncertainty. You know, that will come to an end. You know, and there will be an equilibrium. But in what time, we are not sure. But this will happen. We human beings are in a constant war from almost 2 millennia, like 2000 years, you know, we are trying to just maintain that equilibrium. So I hope, no, I believe it will happen. But in my life, I don't know. I pray that I see it coming, you know, at least coming.
I
That's it,
agree
Carla.
with you. Do you feel that we create our world with our thoughts, or does our thoughts create the world?
Our thoughts create the world.
So, how can we help people learn to think positively instead of feeling, oh, I am the victim.
That's a big question, Carla,
I
There's
know.
no, yeah, that's a very big question. Yeah, the one who is hungry, the one,
My light just went off.
oh, that's okay.
Keep talking.
So the one who is hungry, Carla, you cannot tell him anything and he will not understand anything. So the first thing that we need to solve is the hunger. We have to feed all these people so that their hunger is satisfied and they can think to love. And they can and to tell them that the power of love. They will understand then when they're not hungry anymore. I know hunger is not an American problem, but it is
Oh, it
problem.
is.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's tons of homeless people in the United States.
Yeah, and they're hungry too.
Yeah. I mean, it's very sad. Don't feel the
Yeah.
United States is without war, without
Mm,
hunger.
mm.
It's here.
Yeah, but here it's too much, for like maybe 10 or 20 times, maybe even more than USA. So I think,
Maybe,
yeah. So
maybe,
it's
but
useless. Yeah. Please continue.
I live in what they call a first world country.
Yeah.
You live in a world, in a place that they call a third world country.
Yeah.
However, if you go to Pakistan, and I haven't been there, but I've been in India, there are many people walking around with big smiles and very happy, although they don't have much. Do you feel that spirituality goes beyond what we see in the world? Or is the world only what there is?
I think it's a rare case, Carla. The spirituality is not something very easy to achieve. So if you say, if you talk about the people in Tibet, they live in a very harsh life and they're still so much spiritual. They made it with generations of hard work. So things are like not same everywhere, Carla.
But are things the same for two different people?
No.
Are they same for anyone?
Mhm.
Do we create our own worlds, or does the world create our thoughts? What do you? I know
We
I'm going into a much
no, it's
more
okay. We
in-depth
create.
conversation.
Yeah, Carla, we create our worlds. But somehow the world create our thoughts too. Like the way we are schooled, the schooling systems that create the very core of us. Carla, you know that when we are child, they put us in schools, and then in schools we learn to obey and just not question a lot and just believe in what authorities are telling us. So these things, I believe, they destroy that thing, that antenna, which is what we say is something spiritual. So they break it. So that child, when he there are so much chances that he will be a depressed person and not spiritual, and he will never understand spirituality. So somehow the world is creating our like our mind, our thoughts, but we have the power to create it again, and that's more powerful, I guess.
And what is this power you're saying that we have to create?
The power to understand one's true essence. Just go deep inside yourself again and again for years, Carla. For some people, it's not years, some months, for some, maybe some weeks. But that's very powerful, you know. You have to go inside. Your well is deep, you know. And there you find some immense powers.
I agree with you. Many people say that by going inside, we're dreaming instead of looking at reality. What do you think of that?
Well, I believe the dream state is another reality, you know. Like I believe I learned a lot of things in my dreams, you know. I met a lot of people in my dream, you know, and I now perceive that that's another phase of reality, you know. All the dreams are not like dreams, they are something else, you know. So they are another dimension of reality. So everything that you are seeing in this awakened state or in the state of sleep, you are experiencing it. There's a reality. I believe so now. Now I believe it, you know.
Why do you say now? Do you believe it? Do you think? I'm just wondering myself, is that part of your dream when you came to this world, that you wanted to see things like this, so you began to see things like this? Or did you
It-
create that dream? What do you
it-
think?
uh, that's so big, Carla.
I know.
Yeah, that's so big.
You drew
Yeah.
that question out of me.
Yeah. So I will need some more years to answer this question, you know. Maybe some more years. If we are both alive, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I hope.
What do you think right now ab-
About what, Carla?
about
Think
that
about what?
question? Right now, if you had to answer it and someone said, I'll give you $1 million to give you my answer, I can't do that. Please don't hold me to it.
Mhm.
How would you answer it?
Uh, I would like to just listen that question again, once again.
We were talking that we create our dreams, right?
Hmm.
Rehan has that dream to eliminate poverty throughout
Hmm.
the world, correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm just using it to separate our, you know, our personal thoughts right now to the thoughts of what may happen. Do you think he will create what he will eliminate poverty?
He will start a process, Carla. He will start a process. It will take a lot of lives, you know. Do you believe in reincarnations, like life after life after life? Do you believe in that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So that's the answer, you know. So if you dream so powerfully, like, you know, you will be born again, you know,
Do you
in
think
some
that?
other.
Go on.
I Yes, I believe in that.
So, if you believe in that, do
Mhm.
you think we can create this dream and make it a reality? Especially now when we have the internet and we
Mhm.
can connect from our homes to anywhere in the world. I've never been in Pakistan, but I'm talking to you now
Yeah,
from
yeah,
thousands of miles away.
yes.
So, what
Carla,
do you
it's
think?
what I feel right now is I feel like the dreams, you know, that come in our mind is not created by our minds, you know. They are created by something else, you know. I call it universe. The universe is creating that and just transmitting it in our minds, you know. So these dreams that, like, I have a dream. Can I tell you my dream?
Yes. I've been trying to get to it the whole time. What is the
Yeah, yeah, Carla. So my dream is to rehabilitate my Indus River, to just afforest it the way it used to be before uh, some thousands years ago, like the human came here and they just start like deforesting it. So I want to rehabilitate my Indus River once again in its natural form. I want to afforest it. I want to plant a lot of forests, and I want it to be the way it used to be before humans arrived here. So that's my dream. And now I feel like that's not, this dream was transplanted by universe inside my mind. And it make me meet a person named Rehan Allahwala. And I just expressed it to him. And he said, leave everything and just follow on this thing. That is, maybe that's the thing you are chosen for. And so see, now we met. You see something, I feel like someone is creating the dots and is linking the dots. Like it's a divine mission. Maybe the earth is a conscious thing and she's in so much pain, because I believe that the rivers, they are like the veins and arteries of earth. And someone is just pressing it, like destroying it, and she's in pain, and she just sent some message to universe to help me. And like this things are going on. Like our dreams are not our own, Carla. That's what I believe. They are transplanted. They are implanted from divine. That's what I believe.
agree with you. Do you think our dreams came from the development of the world? How the world became what it is?
Yes.
And that maybe you and I had known each other before this conversation, but we just didn't know it.
Of course, yes. We were connected somehow. you know Maybe you came to this world like some decades before I did.
Be
That's
careful
that
what you
don't
say.
Yeah, so
Go on.
that's, yeah, that don't make a big difference. I believe that we were connected somehow, somewhere. So that's why we connected here on this Zoom meeting, Carla.
Are you happy that we connected?
I'm happy. Of course, I'm happy because that happened. Finally, it happened. And I'm eager. What else will happen? I'm waiting for the next surprises. I just, I'm just eager to know what's next. What's next?
The world is constantly changing and growing.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to see happen in the world?
I want a sustainable world. I want that all the human beings, they become eco-responsible. Like we will, the human beings, Carla, you see, like all other species, we are here to serve this earth, this mother earth. So I want all the population of the earth to understand it, that this earth is not to be exploited. We are here to serve it. That's what I want to see in my life. I want to see all, at least half of this population of this earth, to understand it and just start working, start serving, start repairing, healing it. That's what I want to see.
How do you think we can get the world to start healing?
How can we convince the people to do this?
To start healing, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to educate somehow people. That's the only thing that we know we can do. We cannot force them. We can just only convince them, like how there are a lot of ways we can convince human beings, like giving them some economic benefits, if they try to do this. Once they start doing it, they will never leave it, Carla. When they'll feel the earth, the mother, once they feel it, they cannot go away. That's what I know. The thing is that just educate them, just try to push them with love to come and do it.
Now, the school systems
Yeah.
think you teach kids to read, write, and do math.
Yeah.
But do you think human values should also be taught in the schools as well as in the home? That we should be teaching children to think and to be creative and critical thinkers.
Exactly. This was a thing that was in my mind, that came in my mind this year. Like, I should start it from schools. Carla, I'm running an organization that's name is Equest, and I'm running it just to raise awareness. It's like a behavior change campaign, like using media and things. And now I'm thinking to go to school, to get the children's, to just make them understand, these things. Like, yeah, this came in my mind this month that we should start it from schools, from children who are under 12. There
So
should
how
be.
go on?
Yeah, please. So I think that we should force every country's ministries of education to have a subject, a separate subject like English, like all the other things, that there must be a subject they must teach them ecology. They must teach them.
What about connecting to each other like we are now?
That's what we are doing, Carla. That's what we are doing. But if you see the children, who are in schools right now, do you think that they will have a mind, a desire to connect like this? I'm not so, mm, I'm being somehow pessimistic, but I think that we need to intervene. Schooling system that needs to be changed drastically, like it's outdated. It should not be this way at all. But if they don't change much, a lot of things, they must just introduce a new subject, the ecology.
I agree.
Yeah. So I don't think that people who are younger kids right now, they will be connecting the way we are connecting, or they will have a desire to connect, a drive to connect. I don't think so. Maybe they have, maybe they don't, but they must know that they have a responsibility. They have to be eco-responsible. This world is not for us humans only. It means to stay. It means to remain healthy.
I agree. World needs to connect.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being afraid of Muslims until a crazy man came into my life and said, "But I'm a Muslim
Hmm.
and he's my friend now."
Yeah.
But what we were told in the United States, connecting with a Muslim, you're connecting with a terrorist.
Yeah.
I
I
had to
understand it.
give up. I had to really give
Yeah.
up old friends in order to start a whole new life. How can we help people in the world begin to do that?
That will be a slow process, Carla. Like, there are a few people like you who just came out of the fear, and just took everything in her hand and connecting with Muslims to understand that they are not, all of them are not terrorists. So the thing, again, that drive, that's something spiritual, Carla. That spiritual strength that cannot be created, like, that's how I believe that what you did, it was inside you from beginning. If you see your life, like you were crossing the lines in all your life. You are just counter checking things that if they are true, that's why I don't like the states, any state in the world I don't like, because they are lies, they run on lies. What they do is lies. The governments, they lie all the time, for their interests.
Do you
So
think they know they're lying?
of course they're lying. They know it very well. They know it very well.
You're talking about the people who are greedy right now, not
Yeah,
necessarily.
exactly. Yes. Clever and greedy. They're so wise. They're so clever. They're intelligent and greedy.
How can we change that? Rehan had started the Insan Party. Do you think that'll help change how people look at the world? Do you think these interviews or anything we do to connect will help change the world?
Of course, you're doing it, Carla, right now. You are just doing it, And we have to learn the algorithms, of Facebook and Google, and we have to just make it reach as much as people we can, So you must hire an SEO expert who must just make it bombard to everyone, like everyone must look at your shows, so that they get to know people like me, like many people, who are living in Pakistan, and they speak of their heart, So the technology, of course, the internet, the algorithms, the search engine optimization, you must do it to reach as much as people you can. And maybe your organization, they support you financially to hire some experts, for that. So that's what we can do. Are you
And
comfortable, Carla?
yeah, I am.
Yeah, I feel you have some kind of backache.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. I'm okay.
Yeah,
Worry
yeah.
about it.
Okay, okay.
What is it that you want the world to know from this conversation, to gain from this conversation?
I want them to connect, I want them, if they think like me, anyone who's watching it, and he feels or she feels that Basham is speaking, what was inside his or her mind, they must connect with me. We must all connect, that's what I want to do. So that we can make the change that we are selected for, like there are a lot of people who are selected for this dream that I see, the dream that was planted in my mind. I want them to connect with me or make me connect with them, so that we can work more efficiently. We have so less time, Carla. You see, if we have an average life of 70 years, let's say, we spend 25 years in sleeping, and 16 years, they are like, we are so young and we don't know anything. So you see, we have something like 10 or 12 years, just very small. We should, we need to work faster, That's what I want to give a message to anyone who's listening to me. He feels that like what things I speak make sense, Let's connect, please. Connect.
Well, that's the reason for these interviews, to
Yeah, I
help
understand.
people realize you connect,
Yeah.
you talk to people around the world, even if it's 10 minutes a day or even 5 minutes a day. If you speak to someone you're afraid of or someone you disagree with, that could really change the world, don't you think?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's why it's happening.
That's why, right. That's exactly why this is happening.
Yeah.
I remember as a little girl, I wanted to see people connect from around the world.
Yeah.
So when this opportunity came up with Rehan, it
Hmm.
changed my life because I didn't realize it, but as I kept doing it, I was actually fulfilling the dream I wanted to happen. How do you feel about that?
I feel like maybe after some years, I will also see my dream coming true, like the way your dream came true, like you're connecting with people from all over the globe, So it came a reality. That's your reality right now. I hope that my dream will be a reality too after some years. I hope.
But we have a journey that we need to travel to get
Yeah.
to that point. I certainly wasn't at this point 20 years ago
Yeah.
or when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Hmm.
I was scared. I don't want to talk to Muslims. And yet I do it every day now, practically.
So, see, they know they were lying, and they lied so confidently, So, you see, so,
Sure,
yeah,
I'm not sure that they know they're lying. I don't think they understand what they're doing. I think they're stuck in a box and they're not willing to get out of the box.
perhaps, Carla, perhaps that's true
But
what you are saying.
I mean, I don't know for sure, trust me.
Yeah, yeah. So just leave them. Yeah.
Is there anything, because I know it's getting late there, is
Hmm.
there anything that you'd like to share
Share with you,
that we
Carla, or
haven't covered?
I think I told more than I was expecting. I speak like you opened me, like I was not expecting like someone to open me this way. Carla, like you just got all the things out of my mind. In words. So I just want to thank you from deep of my heart right now. That's it.
I had no idea where this conversation was going to go.
See, so it was not planned at all. Nothing was planned.
And that makes it wonderful. And you almost walked out on me.
Uh,
But you didn't. Thank you.
I thank you so much, Carla, for everything this evening.
I
That was
thank
great.
you too.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Let's end this for now. I want to talk to you offline and thank our viewers who saw it. Thank Rehan Allahwala for allowing this to happen. I mean, he connected us. And
Yeah.
realize that the Institute of Peace is promoting or creating peace one conversation at a time when we do this, when we go live with someone from another country and another culture. Let's wave goodbye. Bye,
Bye bye, Carla.
everyone.
Bye bye, everyone.